Welcome to another edition of Anthony T's Horror Thoughts. You might notice I changed the name from Random Thoughts to Horror Thoughts because Anthony T's Horror Thoughts is a much cooler name. I'm filming an intro to the best of 2018 so far because, well, I forgot to do an intro when filming this video, so it'll go into my top 5 favorite films 2018. I hope you enjoy this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and have a good day. Number 5, Victor Crowley. This was a return to the Hatchet franchise. It's the 4th film in the series. And I have to say, this was very good. I've always been a big fan of Adam Green ever since the first Hatchet film, and he's done pretty much nothing wrong. He's one of those directors where you know you're going to have a fun time watching a film. Victor Crowley was different. It had a more serious tone compared to the first 3 Hatchet films, which is always a good thing. I like the fact that there's there's a lot of humor, but there's some serious stuff in here which I did not expect to see in this film, but it worked so well. Plus the fact that it had some very good performances from Felissa Rose, Laura Ortiz, and Kane Hodder himself, whom has another film on my list which I'll talk about later in the list. But this is definitely one of the better Hatchet films. I would even go to say that this was better than Hatchet 3. It's nice to see Adam Green back directing. It felt like it was a while between his last film and this one. This is definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of slasher films or Kane Hodder because it's Kane Hodder at his best. I definitely highly recommend this film, and I suggest you seek this film out. Number 4 is Red Eye. This film surprised me on all levels. It was done by first-time director Tristan Clay, who also wrote the screenplay with, let me just double check, yep, Destiny Orndorff, who also stars in the film. And I have to say, this was just amazing. I liked the way this film looked, as this is probably one of the better looked films for a first feature. It doesn't feel too dark. The tone was right. The pictures were crisp. That's what makes a film great from the production standpoint. It also helped that the screenplay in which Clay and Destiny Orndorff wrote was very good. I liked how they focused on character development. You need character development because I see a lot of films these days, they're just skipping to the action or just not being detailed enough. Red Eye's screenplay is very detailed, and it makes the characters interesting, and it really kept me glued to the screen. This film also has a lot of action, a lot of bloody gore in it, which is This just downright had a shocking feel to it. If this film did not have a shocking feel to it, it could have still been, it would still been good, but it wouldn't be noteworthy. And that's what makes Red Eye great. The film also has two very good lead performances from Destiny Orndorff and Heather Dorff. Both of those actresses made sure that the characters were emotional, made sure that they're also likable, and also made sure that the performance was noteworthy. Because in some of these low-budget films, you may need a noteworthy performance or two just to even grab attention. And this film does this very well. It's currently playing on almost all the major VOD providers. The film will hit DVD in September, hoping for a Blu-ray release, because of course I prefer Blu-ray over DVD. But if that's not the case, I'll still pick up the DVD. This is definitely a film that is worth your attention. Number 3 on my list is A Quiet Place. This film is very different from all the other films on my list. It's not a slasher film. It's not bloody. It's not gory. It focuses on good old-fashioned scares. Director John Krasinski does a very good job directing this film, considering that his screenplay contains very little dialogue. He's able to make sure everything works effectively by the way he, first of all, directs his cast, which also includes his wife, Emily Blunt. And she's also great in this film, too. But the way he manages to make sure that the movements of the characters are done so well that you cannot take your eyes off. Whether it's the creature effects, to how he makes his cast act with very minimal dialogue, it really makes this film very good. The other thing that I also appreciate about this film is that it is different. Very rarely do I see a horror film where there's like minimal dialogue. It just works so well. By going dialogueless for most of the film, it allows the film to focus on the atmosphere. It is very creepy. It's truly one of the most unique films of the year. It's something I will probably recommend to everyone, even though it may not be their cup of tea, considering that there's just no dialogue or very little blood, if any, in the film. So this is definitely a film you should check out, whether you're a fan of horror or sci-fi, because I think it has little sci-fi elements in there too. But still, the performances is what makes this film very good. It's definitely one of those films you should check out if you're a fan of films that are unique, films that contain little dialogue, or films in which you want to be scared. A Quiet Place is one of those films. Film's currently on DVD and Blu-ray, and you can also pick it up on VOD as well, but support physical media. Pick up the DVD or Blu-ray. Number 2 on my list is Terrifier. This film was definitely balls to the wall from the beginning of the film to its very end. It's also the most shocking film I've seen this year. It has everything. Creative kills, creative scenes. It made this fun. It wasn't serious. At times it also could be qualified as a trauma film too, if you want to add to the description of this film. That is a very trauma-like film, as everything is like balls to the wall from minute 1 to the end. Most of it has to do with Damon Leone's directing. He does a very good job making sure that each of the film's kills has a reaction. Very few slashers do that. Most of them tend to be, just off this guy, off to the next victim. But the way he handles the death scenes in his direction is just gruesome. It's shocking. It's frightening. It's really one of the most horrific slashers that I've seen in a while. It really is mind-blowing. You can see why this film is getting a little cult following. Because of its kills, and it's also this great performance by David Howard Thornton as Ott the Clown. Let me tell you something. That is a tough role to pull off. Because he's not talking. It's just like movements. And it made this film a great slasher. This is definitely a film you should check out. It is definitely not for the squeamish. It's definitely not for people who are can't handle limbs getting ripped off and all that stuff. Because there is a scene in this film where it's just very nerve-wrenching. It's like, did they just do that? And it also applies maybe to another scene too, where this is not the traditional slasher code. That's what makes Terrifier great. It doesn't play by the slasher rules. it burns them and makes it more gruesome. This is definitely a film you should check out. It's currently available on DVD and Blu-ray. I'll leave a description on the show notes so you can get it cheaper than buying it off Amazon, because I've seen it for like $25, $30 when the Epic Pictures website has it for like $20, and shipping's like $3, $4, which isn't bad compared to other places where I've shopped. You should definitely check out Terrifier. I really hope Art the Clown becomes the next Victor Crowley, because I think they have something special there. What does my number one film have in common with Terrifier? They're both released by Epic Pictures, and they're also both released by Dread Central Presents. This is a great label. I won't go into much more detail, but definitely support this label. They are really doing a great job so far. Now on to my number one film, since if I continue talking about Dread Central, we could be here for about another 5-10 minutes. So my number one film is To Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder story. This was definitely one of the most emotional documentaries I've seen in a while. It's one of the most detailed documentaries that I've seen. I liked how it really focuses a lot on Kane Hodder the person and Kane Hodder the actor. It really made this film great. It didn't feel fan servicey or anything, which really made this a great film. One of the things I liked about this film was the way it was structured. This film didn't have the traditional documentary structure, which made this very good, because if this was done the traditional structure, start off with the childhood, then work your way up, it would have lost a couple people, because you know Kane Hodder is Jason. You know Kane Hodder as Victor Crowley. I like how they started off with telling a little story about Kane Hodder the actor. Then it goes diving into one of his personal stories, which made the structure good, because it keeps you glued to the screen, which it did for this documentary. I also like the fact how the personal stories went into great detail. It provided some of the most emotional moments of the film. It was something where I almost was shedding a tear or two. And I usually don't cry that much, but this film almost made me want to cry the first time I was watching this film. It really is a great film. Whether it's from a structure standpoint to how they treat its subject with respect, it made this very gripping from the first moments to the last moments. It's definitely one of those documentaries you should check out, whether you're a horror fan or not. I don't know if this is gonna be beat this year, because this movie was so emotional that it's stuck with me since I reviewed it. It is really one of the best films of the year. Maybe one of the best films I've seen this decade. And it's truly a film that may be on the top of the list at year's end. Because I don't know if this is going to be another film that comes even close to this film. Because this film really leaves you with an impact. And it really makes you respect Kane Hodder as a person and not just an actor. Because truly, Kane Hodder is one of the nicest persons I've met. Because I met him once at Rock and Shock. Very nice guy. And he also seems like he likes coming to conventions. Where most people really don't like coming to conventions. But still, this is a great documentary. I can't wait to have this documentary signed by him. Because it's just great. It is a great film from start to finish. Well, that's my top 5 films of 2018 so far. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments section. Tell me what your favorite film of 2018 is so far. Tell me if you agree that these 5 films deserve to be the top 5 films of 2018 so far. Please let me know in the comments section. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I have more random thought videos. I also have trailers. I also have horror reviews, which is basically film reviews, but I like to call them horror reviews. More of a wordplay and everything. I should have another one up soon. And I want to thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to visit my site over at thehorrorchamber.blogspot.com. Thank you for watching this video, and have a good day.